I don't ever want to see myself working for a company for the rest of my life. Are you working for yourself or are you working for others?
This is the worst.
A lot of the time as humans, we get into this pattern. We go to work every day. We show out at work. We accomplish all these goals for this job. You come back. Sometimes you have families and you go ahead and you do everything that you need to do for that family. Make sure they have clean clothes, food. Even when you're single, you just cook food for yourself. Make sure you're fed, shower, go to bed. Start the same pattern over again. But sometimes it's easy to get stuck in that pattern, and when you're putting all this effort into other places and you're not putting back the effort into you, you won't take yourself as far as you can go. That happens a lot in jobs. I had this experience one time. I was managing a hat store and this girl came to work. She's a brand new employee. She had started maybe like a few weeks before I had met her. And I always try to ask questions to get to know somebody a little bit better. I don't know why I asked this question. I never really asked this specific question. But I was talking about traveling, and the first thing I asked, which is pretty normal, was, have you traveled anywhere? Where have you been outside of this state? I was in Tracy, California at the time. Very isolated, very isolated. She was like, oh, I'm from Tracy. I haven't been anywhere, never at all? No, never. I haven't been outside of this area, maybe to Stockton, Manteca, places like that, but never out of this area. And to me, that's so mind-blowing because I just cherish travel so much. But I realize not everybody is like that, and it's completely fine. But I do think that it's important to step outside your comfort zone and just see a little bit of the world, even if it's just a different state. But aside from that, I continued the conversation, and I was like, oh, okay, well, do you ever see yourself traveling? She's like, no. Okay, that's fine. So this is the question that I asked that really was something a little different. And I was like, do you see yourself working this job for the rest of your life? Or do you see yourself doing something else? Are you interested? At the time, I think she crocheted. She was great at that, like really, really good at that shit. But I was like, do you see yourself doing that? No. I think I'm gonna stay here, probably forever. And we're gonna just, figure it out. You want to work at Lids forever? And no judgment, I guess there's people that need to do it, but for me, that really just awoken something in me to be like, I don't ever want to see myself working for a company for the rest of my life. I want to have that goal and that mindset for a business that I am making, for a path in life that I am in charge of. You're essentially letting somebody else control your entire life at that point, to me at least. And like I said, nothing wrong with it. But for me, to have a schedule made by somebody every single day is you literally controlling every day of my life. What time I wake up, what time I go to sleep, what time I show up. And when you have your own business, yes, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to consist of almost your entire life. But if you love what you're doing, it's a different type of feeling and a different type of accomplishment. And what you're putting out into the world is being a lot more appreciated than you sitting here in a store that literally almost had like 5 people a day at times. It was very slow. If you know Tracy, California, if you know the mall has nobody like 95% of the time. That was just such an eye-opening moment for me, and it set the tone for the rest of my life. I work so I can invest into myself, into my self-growth. What I work for is the money that I'm going to use to invest back into me. Is money that I'm going to receive something from, not just to pay bills. That's not something that I aspire to be. Honestly, I don't want to be an employee. I want to be an owner of something that I am running. And at one point, to the point where I don't have to run it. It's running itself. And I think that not everybody has that mindset, and that's fine. We need worker bees, but I am far from a worker bee. I aspire to be somebody that makes such a huge impact in this world, that I am fulfilling my purpose of my soul and who I am. That is something that I am aiming for. I don't think that I can do that via company. That's not mine. That's not my name. That's not my mission. If you have something that is going to fulfill your purpose and make you feel as a whole person, I think that's something that you should definitely invest in. And if you have to work that 9 to 5 right now, like I'm working that 9 to 5, but I'm gonna use it to invest in me, to invest in my brand. So invest into yourself. Use that money for your greater good, for your greater purpose.